Hey, you guys ever dreamt of full remasters of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy? You know, with high resolution graphics and updated gameplay to suit the modern day type of game. Well, we got none of that here for Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Instead, we have 3 emulated ports in one package. But it is what it is, if you ask me, because at the end of the day, I still enjoy Super Mario 3D All-Stars as much as I did when I first played these games, if not more. For today's video, I will be ranking every single boss in Super Mario 3D All-Stars. If you've noticed, I've ranked all these bosses before in 3 separate videos, but for this video, I'm just gonna pull a Nintendo and make a compilation of those 3 videos into one. If Nintendo managed to do it, well, I don't see why I can't manage to do it. So, enjoy what's perhaps the most longest ranking video I've produced so far. My name is JuniorAlexanderLeiva, aka Mr. Awesome, and here's every single boss in Super Mario 3D All-Stars, ranked. Let's get this show on the road. This right here is a boss that I legitimately didn't know was actually a boss. I forgot that this enemy existed in the first place. The Mandibug stacked boss is exactly what the name implies. It's 2 Mandibugs stacked on top of each other. Oh, a revolutionary concept, I see. The entire battle could be done in less than a minute. You ground pound the boss once to murder its child, and then the mama gets mad. And then you allow the mama to see her child in hell, after stomping on her again. Not gonna lie, it's kind of your fault for fighting me with your child on your back. Guess that makes you a bad mom. There's not much to say about this boss, to be honest, that's not been said before in other videos. It's in the way and has a death cutscene, so it kinda counts as a boss scenario. Let's just move on. I'm gonna be real with you, I have no idea what Nintendo was trying to accomplish with this boss. Like there's a whole lot of something going on, when in reality, there is nothing going on. Monty Mole is one of those bosses that you don't really consider a boss. It stands in your way and has a cutscene during its death, so I guess that qualifies him to be on this list. I don't know, I saw a video on YouTube say that he was a boss, and I saw a bunch of wikis say he was a boss, so I had to count him as a boss, because, you know, majority rules, I guess. You first face off Monty Mole in Peanut Park, minding his own business, up until you come along, you know, you, Super Mario. And the Monty Mole shoots a barrage of bullets at you, which I guess could be considered as a threat. And the only way to beat him is wait for him to send out one of these ticking bombs and shoot the bomb with water and throw it back at the boss. Why not just let me catch the damn thing and throw it back? Why does water have to do anything with this? I get the whole gameplay mechanic with FLUDD is water and stuff, but if you throw water at a bomb, it ain't gonna take down, it's most likely gonna defuse or go boom. You'll notice that a trend with Super Mario Sunshine to beating these bosses is, you know, just to make them wet. That's what she said. I'll be super honest, Monty Mole is more of a nuisance than it actually being a boss. I would honestly categorize him as a mini boss. But if the Super Mario Wiki says he's a boss, then I guess it's true. Super Mario Wiki is the holy bible of Mario stuff. You don't even get anything for beating the boss. No shine sprite, just access to the actual level itself. So thank you for wasting my time, Monty Mole. We could have done better things with our life, but hey, we just had a rendezvous like this. Again? Yo, what the fuck are you doing here? Bro, no one fucking likes you. Get the fuck out of here. Monty Mole's second battle is exactly like the first one, but this time, he's located in NOKI Bay, so there's that. The only reason this battle is higher than the first battle is because it can be slightly harder to get to him due to the paint being slippery, and you gotta look out for other objects in the way while you're making your way up to him. Other than those differences, it's just the same as the previous battle, and to be honest, it's a lot easier. But at least this one had a purpose, because once you defeat him, 1, he's gone for good, and 2, he actually gives you a shine sprite. So automatically to me, Monty Mole 2 is better than Monty Mole 1. Kicking off the Super Mario 64 boss rankings is Chill Bully. Honestly, this is probably the easiest boss in the entirety of Super Mario 64. Located in Snowman's Land, the Chill Bully is basically the icy variant of the regular bully seen in Lethal Lava Land. The only difference is, well, he's chill AF. To beat this boss, you have to push it off the platform before it pushes you. It's an epic battle between a plumber and an ice sculpture with legs. Huh, what differentiates this one from the other bullies? Is something you may be asking yourself. Well then, my good viewer, this is on an icy platform, which makes this a lot more easier than those other bullies in this game. And what I find interesting is that there isn't lava here, it just so happens to be extremely cold water, which oddly enough can burn you too. And honestly, as you can see from the footage, getting the star was a little bit harder than me fighting this very fight. And I gotta say, the star is what's the real boss here, not the Chill Bully, but it is what it is. My fellow viewer, I had no idea Big Mr. I was a boss until I researched it in the Super Mario Wiki. There's seriously nothing special about him. It's literally a giant eyeball in the middle of the room. I mean, for God's sakes, can you stop freaking looking at me? It's kind of making me uncomfortable, Mr. Big Eye. And to be quite honest, Mr. Big Eye itself is super easy to beat. It's super dummy dumb, poopy poop, brain easy types of easy to beat, if that makes any sense. All you have to do is spin around him until he gets dizzy. Big whoop. But actually, what I like about this boss per se is actually getting to him, because that makes a boss battle a little bit worth it if you ask me. You gotta already have the Vanish Cap, so if you haven't flooded the basement in Peach's castle, you gotta go do that. And then once you obtain the invisibility power up, you got to go to Big Boo's haunt, and then break the blue box, get yourself the invisibility power up, and then you gotta pull these parkour wall jump kicks in order to make it to the roof floor. And if you aren't quick enough, you're gonna lose the invisibility, because, well, you know, you need mad skills to get up here. And you actually need the invisibility to fight Mr. Big Eye, because he's hidden behind this Boo painting. But, you know, once you pass through the painting with the invisibility power up, Big Mr. Eye is just a cakewalk. I don't know why his name isn't Mr. Big Eye. Instead it's Big Mr. Eye. Weird. Back at it again in Big Boo's haunt. You're out here traversing from outside of the mansion, up the newly formed stairs, and wall jumping your way to the roof. Once you made it up there, you go outside the balcony, and there it is, Big Boo. And he's ready to fight you. Again, Big Boo himself is easy to take out, just hit it from behind or ground pound it a few times and he's done. Something I always wondered to myself is, shouldn't I phase right through him when I'm fighting him? It makes no sense that I can physically hit a ghost. I don't think Nintendo understands how ghosts work. At least in Super Mario 64, because in Luigi's Mansion, it's a little different. But honestly, the hardest part of the battle isn't the battle itself, it's after you beat him. Because when you're actually getting the star, it's on top of the roof. And, well, you gotta go get it. So, if you aren't careful enough on your way up to the star, you're gonna end up slipping off the roof and having to traverse up the mansion again. And it can get pretty annoying. What I liked about this boss, it's just super quick, nothing really too crazy. But seriously, why are getting the stars easier than beating these bosses? Lethal Lava Land is home to the bully species. And, well, as per regular species, there's your regular bullies and your big bully. Big bully over here is bigger, tougher, and a lot more easier to fight than those pesky regular bullies. Big bully's honestly a pushover. No pun intended. But I'm being serious, it ain't much of a pushover like its cousin Chill Bully, cause he's a real icy hot mess. This one you think it would be more inclined to push you off into the lava much more easily, but no! All you gotta do is really dive or kick in its face a few times and he's done for. Obviously I ranked him higher than Chill Bully cause Big Bully at least gave me some pushback, and somewhat of a challenge, because if you recall, Chill Bully, all I did was just basically knock him out. Underground Gunner number 3 is the easiest Underground Gunner fight, and the most disappointing one out of the 3 fights in the game. You would think that after fighting for the 3rd time, you would have something new and interesting to combat against a menacing, psychotic Italian plumber who's traveling across the cosmos on a killing spree in search of a princess. Nope. This 3rd Underground Gunner is actually a lot easier than the previous 2 fights. You actually have 2 ways of beating this boss. You can either stomp on its glass dome like you already know how to do, or you can use these coconuts to hit the dome if you feel like being a cool kid on the block. So long, Underground. Seriously, get out of here. I need to fight a boss that's actually a challenge. I like to think that this is the dad of the Mandibug stack I killed earlier. Bugaboom is an interesting boss in Super Mario Galaxy that uses your knowledge from killing the many Mandibugs you have done already. You should have a B power-up on when you encounter him, so just fly on his back and hit that ground pound to flatten him like a bug. After the first hit, he takes flight, so you have to aim higher with B Mario. After the 3rd hit, he goes into rage mode and decides to switch up his flying tactics. He'll go from normal Star Wars Millennium Falcon mode and flip to the side. But in order to beat him, you just have to time when he'll fly normally and stomp on him for the kill. At least this boss switches up things when things don't work. Polluted Piranha is the first boss you face in Super Mario Sunshine. This is right after you're being introduced to Flood, which is a good way to start off the game in my opinion. It's pretty much a tutorial boss showing you the tried and true Nintendo boss specialty. There's not much to expect from this boss, which is why he's higher than the Monty Mole bosses from Super Mario Sunshine. I don't expect something crazy, fun, and complicated out of the first boss, because, you know, it's the first boss. You know, he's just supposed to handhold you, say, hey, it's like when you're fighting a little kid play fight. Hey, your attacks hurt. Haha. Defeating the Polluted Piranha gives you the very first Shine Sprite in the game. The second boss fight of Polluted Piranha is a reminder of the basics in case you somehow forgot. Keep in mind, this is a Nintendo game after all. It's gonna hold your hand through thick and thin. The only difference between this boss fight and the previous one is that the new one introduces the slime enemies, which, you know, they make these wonderful sounds when they're trying to attack you. This now becomes training for you to be able to multitask and keep an eye out for add-on enemies while fighting. Defeating this boss doesn't give you a Shine Sprite, but it's almost like the game is telling you, hey, you can go now. You're on your own from here on out. You've gotten pretty big. In the arms of an angel. Are you fucking kidding me? The Polluted Piranha 4th fight is located on Delfino Plaza again? And this one apparently likes to just play jokes on you. It pretends to be dead after its first 3 hits, but then, oh no, it gets back up for more. And then it's dead. Because I fucking murdered it. Yo, if I seriously have to fight another one of these motherfucking Polluted Piranhas, I'm gonna fucking flip a lid, man. I'm so sick of looking at you stupid, slimy face, ugly fucks. The 5th Polluted Piranha battle is the final battle of the Polluted Piranhas chronologically. But thank God it's over and done with, because this became excessive. This one seemed a bit harder to face off, but it could just be my imagination. It's not like they would ever change the entire moveset of a boss you had to face off 5 times, right? Oh, hey. Polluted Piranha. Who would have thought? Huh. Let's just get this over with, man. I got a dentist appointment in an hour. At least the 3rd Polluted Piranha fight has the audacity to give you an obstacle course that leads you up to him. At least this boss has some presentation to him. Hey, I just made you go through the obstacle course and you could have died at any moment, but well, here I am, man. This is what you get.
¿A quién estás diciendo charato?
I get it. and now he'll no longer be part of this list ever again. Oh, and he gives me a Shine Sprite too, and access to the rest of the world. Best polluted piranha fight? I agree. Top Maniac is literally a sentient Blade. The first fight is in Battle Rock Galaxy, and he's ready for a fight from the start. You have to jump on its head to remove the blades around him, and then spin attack him to move him towards the electric fence that's around you. This can be kind of annoying to do, especially when its posse is around. They like to be all on top of you and push you towards the fence. I give this boss credit for being a boss that's active, but it's a fast boss nonetheless. Let it rip to the very end. Alright, Top Maniac, you're back for another ass whooping. Let's see what you got. Oh, nothing? The second Top Maniac fight is in Dreadnought Galaxy, and only 2 things have changed. 1, he upgraded his minions to larger ones, and 2, the electric fence now moves. Yeah. Innovation. And honestly, the fence isn't really an issue with this fight. Somehow, I always conveniently hit him on the electric fence, and the minions aren't much of a difference either. Push him to the fence just like you did before, and the star is yours. Moving on to a fresh boss, we have Goober Blooper located in RICCO Harbor. His appearance is a fresh new take on bosses with a cutscene included as opposed to Polluted Piranha, where it's just, okay, I'm here now. To fight this boss, the goal is to pull on its mouth, but he can occasionally block his face with his tentacles. And if they bother you, you can just ground pound them and pull on them until they finally... Ew. Goober Blooper's ink can make the floor slippery, which will make moving around difficult, but overall, he's not a tough boss. It's definitely a memorable one for sure. Oh great, he's back again. The second Goober Blooper fight, again, is in RICCO Harbor, and this time, he's back with a vengeance. He trained extremely hard for this, with a whole new approach with a new ultimate move. Ha! Just kidding, it's the fucking same as before. Ew. I like this battle over the first one simply because of the location of the battle. It made the boss fight much more fun than the first one, and I kinda got to, show off a little bit of my moves while, trying to get to this boss fight a little bit. Oh, look, he's here again, and this time he brought his little squid army with him. The third Goober Blooper battle is located in NOKI Bay. He's in a whole new part of Isle Delfino, and he's trying to act brand new too. It's like when you go to college and you see that friend you grew up with and they don't want to see you, and then you call them out and be like, yo, you fake as fuck for this. That's Goober Blooper number 3 with his whole new posse. His new little squid army poses absolutely no threat whatsoever. Fun fact, when I was playing this game for the first time as an adult, I managed to avoid this boss. So when I live streamed this game, I was taught how to perform a glitch to skip the entire boss. And to be honest, I had no idea this boss existed in the first place because the glitch, as you can see on screen, you legit just clip through and skip through everything. So I had no idea this Shine Sprite had a Goober Blooper fight. But I'll be honest with you, this is easily the best Blooper fight out of the 3 of them. And it's so nice to see that they made the last fight mean so much more than the previous ones. Major Burrows looks like a grunt gunner got fed up with getting his ass whooped and started taking steroids. Now he wants to bully innocent creatures, and I'm not having that shit. Major Burrows is located in Gusty Garden Galaxy, and the boy's got a really bad temper to him. So for this fight, Major Burrows is digging around the planet, and all you have to do is ground pound and make him pop out, and once he pops out, you have to spin attack him. If not, he'll just run away and continue digging. Once you do that a couple times, he gets really angry and starts chasing you around, trying to really kill you. And then you just have to continue the motions of ground pounding him and literally clowning him with a spin attack. And with all that, poof, he's gone. There's really not much to do with this boss. I wouldn't expect anyone to take long beating this boss, but at least it's an original design. Underground Gunner 2 is located in Toy Time Galaxy, and I have to give this fight credit for being the tallest underground gunner out of the three. You have to use a spring jump to get to the top of him, and that's where the challenge comes in. Not from the boss, but from the spring power-up. The spring power-up can sometimes mess up where you're trying to go, but honestly, as I mentioned before, that's the only complication in this fight. You can honestly beat him faster than I can write a script about him. Other than that, this boss fight is pretty cool. It's actually funny to see the first Underground Gunner be the first on this list as opposed to the rematches against him. This one is located in Gold Leaf Galaxy, and I have to give this one the most credit for having a stage set up to go against me. You have spikes covering the majority of the area, and there's a rain cloud to take away my B power up. And we have an angry boss looking to get his butt whooped. With all this stuff in the way, it's still a pretty easy boss. You just have to fly up using B Mario and ground pound him until his machine explodes. The problem with Underground Gunner fights is that there's never really anything stopping me from hurting him. The majority of the time I just go up to him and do it. There's no force field or any real resistance, to be honest with you. But out of the three Underground Gunner fights, the number one's the best one. Yo, this dude is just chilling. You're telling me I have to fight him? Why? My dude is just vibing out. Look at him. Let him vibe out with me. I'm pretty tired too. Dude, I'd be freaking tired if I was carrying a backpack full of water all day. I'm not no water boy. The second PD Piranha fight makes you use these puffer blob things to wake him up. And honestly, I don't understand why I have to wake him up in the first place. He's not hurting anyone to my knowledge. Is he really the villain, or am I really the villain? Maybe I as Mario should have just stayed in jail, since I want to be a threat to other creatures that are honestly just chilling. Half of Bianco Hills is a battleground for this boss, so I found that pretty cool. He flies around spewing this icky paint like goo. Doing this summons the small blobs with that sound, but I wouldn't worry too much about them. Yeah, they can cause a real threat, but the real threat in this game is honestly in his Super Mario 3D All-Stars version with the frustrating camera controls. He's flying in the air in this fight, so you have to shoot him down in order to get a hit on him. The fight can be repetitive sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but once he's out of the sky, it's just like the first PD Piranha fight. Just fill up his belly with water until his outer belly button pokes out, and give him a good pounding until he's no more. Murder innocent creatures. Achieve shine sprites. Mario. King Boo looks so derpy in this game. Honestly, I can't take him seriously at all, especially compared to Luigi's Mansion's King Boo. This King Boo is located in the casino part of the hotel in Serena Beach, and I'm not gonna lie to you, back then, I used to hate this boss. If I had made this list years ago, or a few days ago before I actually played it again, I would have put King Boo at the absolute bottom of this list. But I'm an adult now. I have grown up into a more mature person, especially 3 years ago. I no longer play Mario, I analyze Mario. Nay, I am Mario. I now understand what you have to do in order to beat him. So he's not much of a threat to me as he used to be. But I'm not gonna sit here and BS you. I still think he's a pretty broken boss, because I would throw a red hot chili pepper at him and nothing would happen. But overall, he's a pretty good boss once you get the hang of it. I mean, to be honest, it kind of changed my perspective on Super Mario Sunshine. Maybe not as a whole, but it kind of made me want to 100% this game and get all the blue coins in order to have a final opinion of Super Mario Sunshine. So someday I will most likely stream me 100%ing Super Mario Sunshine. So until then, subscribe and be on the lookout for more Super Mario Sunshine content. Womp King, or as Zabre likes to call him, Kool-Aid Man's Nightmare. What? Yo, this is the last time I'm having Zabre revise a script for me. Honestly, I've never really felt bad for fighting a boss before, but Womp King really had me feeling for him. And yes, I say him, because he's a king, and king means he's a male. The Womp King complains because all we do as people is use them and step on his kind, and honestly, he isn't wrong at all. I mean, think about it. The sidewalk outside is just a bunch of womps. So as a good Samaritan I am, I decided to literally drop Mario's dump truck of an ass onto his back and literally make him go boom. I really like this fight because you can ground pound and clip through him. Mario's shadow is a slippery bastard that appears often in this game. For this specific one, I know the rules were before, hey, multiple encounters, this and that. This whole list would have been fucking Shadow Mario 1 through fucking 8. I decided to put Shadow Mario as one boss in this game since it does exactly the same thing every time. The only notable thing is that in the first one, he has Peach with him. So you chase him around, spraying water at him like he's your neighborhood friend in the middle of the summer. And when you two lovebirds are done spraying with each other, he leaves you and goes to play somewhere else. The first chase is the best in my opinion. And this is because you get used to running around spraying water instead of standing still. And you also happen to rescue Peach, as I mentioned before, from getting kidnapped. And you get this badass cutscene when he emerges. Captain, we have an intruder. All hands on deck. Camilla's second fight is located in Deep Dark Galaxy. And wow, it's no different than the first fight, which we'll get to later. The only major difference between the first and the second fight is that the second fight, she changes locations halfway through the battle. She goes from a big arena to a small arena. Wow, what a strategy. Is this girl unstoppable? Such a crazy tactic. Alright, so I know this isn't a boss, but hey, most of the bosses in Super Mario 64 are, for the most part, rehashes. So I decided to throw in Koopa the Quick just to make this list a little bit more spicy. Remember, again, this is my list. I get to do what I want in terms of the ranking, so if you got a problem, there's a comment section down below. But yeah, Koopa the Quick, I'm counting him as a boss because, well, he's big, and the big enemies are usually the bosses. Anywho, Koopa the Quick challenges Mario for a race, and if you beat him, you get a star. The whole race as a whole is fun, and if you're familiar with Bob on Battlefield, as every veteran Mario should be, the star is just a breeze to get. And what I find interesting is that you're out here testing your speedrunning skills for Super Mario 64, and I find that fascinatingly brilliant. Especially for being the second star of the game. I love how this race is with a turtle because they're supposed to be slow. But apparently Mario's logic does not make sense, so yeah. But the race is fun because, as I mentioned before, you're out here speedrunning, you're avoiding everything in your path that can hinder you, and you gotta climb the mountain before Koopa the Quick gets there. I love it. Uh-oh, another bully boss. Well, technically it's the same one from the last time, but this time around he came to defend his little friends. It feels like you're at a playground with a bunch of kids and the kids decided to just gang up on you, which is kind of awkward because if you're fighting a bunch of kids, it'd be kind of messed up to punch them in the face, but I don't know, self-defense or something? The small bullies are out here bullying Mario, and I'll be honest with you guys, these little pests are more annoying to deal with versus the big bully. I mean, look, I'm legit getting jumped here, man, but once you put those little bullies in their place, the big bully comes around and defends his homies. You know, like all homies should. You should always defend your homies even though it's a losing battle. But obviously too bad because he gets clowned easier than his little homies. I ended up ranking this bully fight higher than the other bully fights in Super Mario 64 because the little bullies here, they actually gave you some real pushback that had me a bit worried. I'm not afraid to say it, I was worried. I thought I was gonna get clowned, but as you can see, I didn't. I managed to get the star, so I love this big boo fight. For this fight, you have to clear out the boos all over the first floor of the mansion. And yeah, this is the same concept as the boss from Big Bully and the bullies, where they're little boos, but yo, I find it hilarious that you're just coming into these rooms and just literally slaughtering them. It's all like, FBI, open up! And then boom, they're the big dead. I like it especially because there's a lot of room for error, so messing up here can literally cost you your life. Plus, there are 2 hidden boos behind the house that could be a pain to find if you aren't familiar with Super Mario 64. But honestly, in this day and age, who isn't familiar with Super Mario 64? You've got to be really young not to be familiar with Super Mario 64. But once you take care of the little boos, you just go back to the main foyer and clown the big boo. And that's it. You get awarded with the stairs. Oh, the power star as well. But most importantly, the stairs, because you need that for... Baron Burr is a boss fight that you only fight once in Super Mario Galaxy. He has an awesome design, so it's kind of a shame that you only see him once. He's located in Freeze Frame Galaxy, and you have to use the ice power-up to get to him. The disappointing thing about this fight is that once you're up there, and you manage to stay up there, you don't really have to go back down from there at all. That means you could just beat him up from that spot easily. If I would be forced to go down from his spot every time I hit him, the fight would take much longer and it would feel more like a boss fight to me. Unfortunately, the only thing stopping me from killing him is my sense of morals. And thank God, I have none. Technically, King Bob-omb is the very first 3D boss in the span of Nintendo history. King Bob-omb is very enjoyable, from his royal prideful dialogue to his amazing moustache. King Bob-omb, dare I say, is a good way to teach a new player how to maneuver in the 3rd dimension. Since he serves as a tutorial boss, it's always fun to see newcomers deal with him, because they don't really know what to do. What I find most intriguing is that he gets damage when you throw him on the arena. You're in, but if you throw him out the arena, he takes no damage, which makes no sense, because you're literally throwing him farther and stronger at that point. But hey, I'll give him a pass because it's King Bob-omb. The first PD Piranha fight is probably one of the most memorable fights in Super Mario Sunshine. I'm stand corrected, it is probably one of the most memorable fights in Super Mario, period.
You take the
Bond.
now you take the
Water. It's a giant plant boss. This is PD Piranha's first appearance in any game, and it has made its way into other games as well, so you know what? Nintendo did something right when making this boss. Out of the horrible garbage that Super Mario Sunshine is, PD Piranha is one of the best things that came out of this game. I am playing Super Mario Sunshine is not garbage, please don't crucify me in the comments. It was also fun seeing the cutscene of when Mario arrives and the roof just caves in from his massive weight, and I guess apparently Mario's massive weight too.
I think I fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked up. You have to fill up PD's belly with water until he can't take it no more. Once he falls on his back, ground pound him to flatten him. Repeat these 3 times in order to win, and the Shine Sprite's yours. This fight is better than the second fight, mainly because he doesn't fly around in this one, so it's not annoying to fight him, especially if you're playing the 3D All-Stars version of this game, because god, those camera controls are garbage. Dino Piranha is the first boss you face in Super Mario Galaxy, and this is a good introduction to the series, and honestly, it's so adorable. It's a little walking egg with its tail sticking out. Let me get you out of your shell, and okay, I regret it. Alright, let's fix this. I'm gonna put the shell back on you and let bygones be bygones. I'm sorry to bother you. Please have a good day. I'll be on my way now. Goodbye. To beat this boss, you have to use its tail against him. He drags his tail along, and once you attack it, it will bounce back and bonk him on the head. Do this enough times to knock him unconscious, and the star is yours. Honestly, I like this Dino Piranha fight. It's nice. At this Sunshine ranking, we have...
Oh my goodness!
You're the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Where does your face start? Where does your face end? Why do you only have a few number of teeth? Forget Dr. Mario, someone called Dentist Mario in here. When I started to stream this game, I started to appreciate this boss a lot more from when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, 1, brushing your teeth was the big nasty, and 2, this fight was annoying. It's crazy how some of the bosses from Super Mario Sunshine I used to dislike years ago are so high up this list now. This boss is somewhat difficult since you have to constantly worry about air, which will kill you if you're not careful. And in order for you to beat this boss, you have to clean his teeth out with water. Someone needs to explain the logic of how spraying water suddenly makes his teeth clean when we're already submerged in water during this fight. Is flood water special water? Kinda need answers, or else I won't be able to sleep at night. Some of his teeth is easier to get to, while others can be really hard to clean for some reason. For some reason though, this boss fight feels really rewarding to beat. It might just be because the amount of focus needed in order to beat him, plus Flood telling you the importance of washing your teeth is a little nice addition to the charm of this game, so I would highly suggest brushing your teeth. What would a modern day 3D Mario be without Bowser Jr.? An actual good game, because look at Super Mario 3D World and Super Mario Odyssey. They're way better games than Galaxy if you ask me. In Super Mario Galaxy, Bowser Jr. fights in his airship, sending out bullet bills at you. It's a fight between his ship and the ship you're on. And if you think about it, the only way to take him down is to grab Koopa shells and throw it at his ship. That kind of makes no sense. Kinda set yourself up for failure there, buddy. You may want to look out for bullet bills and other threats that aren't Koopas. It's not that hard to aim the shell at the ship, and it can be done pretty quickly. And before you know it, he'll be running home like the little baby Bowser he is. The final boss is not at the #1 spot? That's unheard of. Not at the Mr. Awesome channel. Subscribe for more boss ranking videos. Bowser and Bowser Jr. is such a weird fight. I didn't include the trip inside Corona Mountain to give this a fair ranking, because if I would have put that, this boss would have been at the very bottom of the list. It would have been this and then King Boo, but I digress. Honestly, as a kid, I never beat Super Mario Sunshine, so when I found out that this was the final boss, it is something I would have never imagined. For starters, you're in this hot tub with Bowser, and for one, he's fucking massive. And once he's defeated, he somehow becomes smaller. So I'm not even gonna question the logic on this one. I'm just gonna keep on going. So in order to beat this boss, you gotta break the hot tub with Mario's butt. Bowser may be huge, but nothing will ever match the thickness of Mario. Bowser Jr. is floating around in his little floaty thing, throwing bullet bills, and honestly, I could care less. I did a playthrough recently, and so my most recent playthrough for this very specific video, I didn't want to deal with Corona Mountain, so I put a low gravity cheat, and besides the boss itself being super overwhelming, it's a good boss fight. Bowser really does pose a threat with his flamethrower, and the bullet bills kind of do damage, but with this whole low gravity cheat, it was kind of easy to fight this boss, but you gotta see what happened at the end, because God was with me with this one. I kind of broke through the ceiling of the game. King Caliente is an interesting design and is located in Good Egg Galaxy. He means business and he's ready to fight. To beat him, you have to bounce back the melons. Or coconuts? Seriously, what are these? Oh, that's what they are. Be sure not to confuse the coconuts for the flaming rocks that he'll shoot at you. You can't deflect those fiery rocks. Why is he capable of producing this fruit and flaming rocks out of his mouth is something I'll never understand. Honestly, King Caliente alone can stop world hunger with the fruit he produces. What's dope, once you get enough hits in, he'll deflect the fruits right back at you. So it's kind of like a game of tennis between you and him. Do this 3 times and he'll be defeated. First off, before even talking about this boss, I just want to point out that you fly into a giant butthole before this fight. Nintendo thought they were slick with this one, but no. Tarantox is a weird spider bug that is located in Space Junk Galaxy, and this fight's pretty cool. It's set on a giant spider web. You have to use this silver slingshot to shoot yourself into its multiple weak spots, and honestly, its weak spots are hard to miss. They're missable, but they're hard to miss. I like the boss mainly because it requires you to aim with the slingshot, which is different from the normal ground pounder spin attack. deal. He will eventually flip over and require you to hit 3 other weak spots on his belly. Do this a few times and the star is yours for the taking. And I like how you grab the star at the end because you gotta, stretch the slingshot and just aim yourself at the star. Transformers, robots in disguise. Mega Leg is a giant robot obstacle course. He's not really a threat at all, but it's fun to run up his leg and try to get to the Grand Star. The Grand Star is blocked with a fence and glass dome. You have to track the bullet bill to the fence to break in, and do it again to get into the glass dome. This honestly ends the fight right then and there. It's an extremely short battle, which is disappointing. However, I gotta give credit where credit is due, this boss battle is unique. If he had multiple phases with different ways of reaching the top, this boss battle would have put higher on this list. But unfortunately, this boss lacks a long-lasting fight. I don't know what it is with Nintendo and making horrifying creatures underwater. However, this creature's horrifying in a good way. Kingfin is a boss located in Bonefin Galaxy. Huh, such unique names, right? Anyways, unlike any previously mentioned bosses, this boss has the unique potential to kill you. For starters, you have to watch out for your oxygen. Second of all, with the way the swimming controls work in this game, you might actually swim into him and get hurt. Because trust me, it happens. And third of all, he summons these small little baby bonefish at you, which actually target you and can potentially clown you. I'm not gonna lie to you, these bonefish are actually kind of adorable. To defeat this boss, you have to aim the shells at the boss and throw it at him. You'll notice the more shells you throw at him, the more the boss bone structure will crack. This boss takes about 5 to 6 hits to kill, and honestly, I'm not sure if the green and red shells make a difference in terms of damage. So it'd be kind of great if you Mario Galaxy enthusiasts would let me know in the comment section, because it'd be interesting if they'd be different. This boss is honestly not hard to aim since the boss is pretty big, especially if you have the red shell. The red shell is like a homing attack. It literally clowns him quicker. The green shell, you can miss a few times, but the red shell, that's all yours. If you miss, then you must really suck. Crack some bones and the star is yours to take home. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Super Mario 64 is perhaps my favorite Mario game of all time, but the fact that there are 2 Koopa the Quick races totally slipped my mind. The Koopa the Quick rematch is found on Tiny Huge Island, and again, I'll be honest, I totally forgot this race was a thing, and I 100% forgot where this race started. And since I'm used to Koopa the Quick number 1, I'm used to the race starting at the very beginning of the stage versus the rematch. This one starts at the very top of the mountain, so for this playthrough, I had to actually look for it. And once you find him, you obviously race him again, and Koopa the Quick is pretty fast this time around. So fast that he actually beat me my first attempt. And when he beats you, he literally clowns you. I've never been beaten in Bob-omb Battlefield, so being beaten here is just jarring. And this alone is why I ranked the rematch higher than the first one. Oh, and obviously because it's a bit more difficult too. For this ranking, it's the Big Penguin, or the self-acclaimed world champion Sledder. I have to say, racing the Big Penguin is very fun, and it's the most fun race in this whole entire game. I mean, come on, you're sledding with a penguin. What's not to love? He's sliding on his tummy, and Mario over here? Woohoo! He's sliding on that dump truck of an ass he's carrying around. And on ice. It's mega fun because you're not facing any obstacles, and you're just legit sliding, and trying your best not to fall off. It's pretty wholesome if you ask me. Hell, there's even a shortcut you take, but if you take that shortcut, it's a big no-no, because if the penguin finds out, he'll know, and he'll be the big mad. The second Bowser fight in Super Mario 64, and honestly, it's probably the most forgettable one out of the 3. It's King Bowser in the fire seat. This fight is pretty much the same as the first one, but with Bowser tilting the arena. Big whoop. I'll get to the first Bowser fight pretty soon anyway, so next! Okay, so let's take some booze, let's take some paintings, an empty merry-go-round carousel with fire, and boom! We got the Big Boo merry-go-round fight. This is the best Boo fight in Mario 64 just because the atmosphere is pretty much unique and different, and it feels like a boss rush. The floor spins and the Boos keep popping out these paintings, and I gotta say, it's super fun just to take them out one by one. Once you clown the little Boos, the Big Boo comes out and you clown him. This fight is just very cool because it's in the basement with that creepy music. Ooh, very spooky. Camilla, the first fight, is probably one of the most simple bosses, but still unique at the same time. She has two types of magic in this fight. She has fireballs and green shells. Can you guys guess which one is needed to use against her? Of course! It's the green shell! Why this wasn't her magic kit in the first place is beyond me. As you already guessed it, you have to grab the shell as she casts it and send it right to smack her ugly face. Killing her gets you a star that was trapped inside her wand. Which is kind of more convenient to us than it is to her because she's dead. Bouldergeist is a badass boss that actually looks like he belongs in Luigi's Mansion, because the one from Luigi's Mansion, homie, kinda looks like Bouldergeist. He forms at the center of the field, and he's a rocky boy that likes to throw rocks at you. For example, one of these rocks create an explodey ghost. You can spin attack to grab him and swing him around like a savage. Mario's a sick person, I'll say it 1,000 times. He's all like, I'll beat the mama-fucker with another mama-fucker. Swing the explodey ghost to the Bouldergeist to disassemble his rocks, and do this again and hit him where his spirit is unshielded to do some real damage. He'll grow arms at some point to try to punch you in your big Mario nose. The arms aren't really that bad, to be honest, so explode him with the explodey ghost and do the same thing to Bouldergeist, and the star is yours. Yay. This right here is probably the most iconic Bowser battle in history. King Bowser in the Dark World. Yes, the OG Super Mario Bros. Bowser fight is super iconic, but to me personally, it doesn't come close to this bad boy right here. Shit, Bowser himself speaks to you for once. Every fight before this was just silence. But we all know why this battle is iconic, and it's because of that old tail grab and spin along with the bye-bye. Wait, what? Bye-bye. Yeah, the Shindo version of Super Mario 64 changed this because we know that "So long, Bowser" is the best send-off Bowser will ever get in his lifetime. Have you ever thought that Mario himself might be a villain for a change? Well, that's what it feels like for Wiggler, the tiny huge island. For this battle, you literally have to ground pound the roof of this poor Wiggler's home, and in return, you're flooding it. I feel bad for this Wiggler because I'd legit be pissed too, and it's not his fault. He has the power of the Power Star at his disposal. He didn't even want it in the first place. Well, the reason why I put this fight so high in the Super Mario 64 boss rankings is because this Wiggler isn't playing around. He wants to literally end Mario. He's out here directly attacking him. Nay, he's body slamming him. Dude, I was legit concerned fighting the Wiggler because I didn't know where he was coming from, and honestly, I was running out of coins to use for health. All in all, this fight gave me a 20+ year experienced seasoned veteran of Super Mario 64 a small run for his money. In other words, I was shook. iRock to me is always fun to fight. I mean, look at the concept of it. It's a rock hand with an eye on it. And there's two of them. I love this fight because it feels like a 3D version of Master Hand from Super Smash Bros. The fight takes place inside the pyramid in Shifting Sandland, and there's only one way of getting there, and that's blowing up the top of the pyramid. Once you're in battle, the iRock tries to slam you with its fist or outright push you off the arena, which can be dirty, because a mistake like that can cost you in battle. What's cool about the IROC is that it has a very obvious weak spot. And if you really can't tell, it's the eye in the palm. So you gotta dive in and attack it. And timing is crucial for this battle since, you know, there are two hands, and while you're busy with one hand, the other hand could come and just clown you. I can't believe I ranked this hungry caterpillar so high on this list, especially for the Super Mario Sunshine portion. I hope I don't get so much hate out of you guys, but honestly, this Wiggler fight is so damn fun. I just can't help it. It's just so much fun to me, man. Especially because I built such a nastiness to playing Super Mario Sunshine. Like, I find myself pretty good playing Super Mario Sunshine. Like, I know all this game's like ins and outs in a way. Not really, but in a way. And like, these bosses, bro, these are just speedrun levels of entertainment. So in this fight, you have to avoid the angry Wiggler, and you gotta water these plants so that they form this sand pyramid. And once the sand structure is up, if he so happens to be around that sand structure, he trips and tips over. So at this point, you gotta ground pound on him to do some damage and do it over again a few times. And honestly, I couldn't help but laugh looking at his angry face. The more you hit the boss, the faster it gets, and it brings up the difficulty slightly each time. He's definitely a boss I revisit from time to time again personally. King Caliente is back with another heated boss battle with our lovely Italian plumber over here. The second fight is a slight change, but very effective in ways. You can't stand in the same spot too long. The platform you're standing in will sink into lava, so you have to switch between the platforms in order to stay alive. This keeps you on your toes while making it more difficult to knock back the fruits. He also spawns these blue flame enemies, which can also add to the intensity of the battle. It's the same fight as the first fight, just with small details added to it. And honestly, I've had a lot more fun time with King Caliente 2 versus King Caliente 1. It was a little bit more difficult, especially with the floor sinking and stuff. Here comes the Koopa King himself. Bowser's first battle is pretty much set up in the way that Super Mario 64 did before. You figure out how to take care of him in the first battle, which is quick and easy. This battle only requires you to make Bowser stomp onto these blue tiles that'll spew lava on his itty bitty tail. Doing so will make Bowser run around in pain from his burnt tail. And this is the time to attack him. So once he comes close to you running, make sure to spin attack him and hit him on his back. Catch him on the other side while he's spinning in order to deal the finishing blow. This is only done once, just like in Super Mario 64. And you know, honestly, this is just a precursor for the future fights. The final fight will require you to have many more hits like this. Aww, it's the same Dino Piranha from before. Only this time it has a bit of flames to him. I like fiery Dino Piranha's design. The red and black goes with the fire that he emits from his body, and he's more aggressive in this battle compared to the regular Dino Piranha baby thingy thing monster. His tail also bursts into flames every few seconds, which kind of makes his battle a lot more difficult than Dino Piranha, and which I like a lot because he leaves a fire trail with a little fire tail. You can't attack him when his tail is on fire because, duh, you're obviously going to be burning. So you have to time your attack to hit the tail. Other than that, it's the same as the last battle, but a lot more fun. Bowser's second fight is not so different from the first battle. For starters, he seems to be more determined to beat you, as he does every time you beat him. He will jump multiple times to send shockwaves that damage you. He can also shoot fireballs in multiple directions. And interesting fact about Bowser in the second fight is that he has his own variation of the spin attack. It's kind of like a dark version, but it's somewhat using the same animation as Mario. This Bowser fight lasts longer than the first one and is more interesting, so it gets a higher ranking than the first fight. Alright, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Mecha Bowser used to be my #1 favorite boss in Super Mario Sunshine. Unfortunately, for the Super Mario Sunshine portion of this list, he was put at a lower ranking as I got older. This was the fight that introduced Bowser Jr., a character that would soon to be Bowser's official partner in crime. It has an incredible cutscene, and you do the fight on a fucking roller coaster, my boys. I'm actually a huge fan of roller coaster in real life, so if you look at my Instagram, there's a lot of roller coaster pictures of me and my friends, so... Sorry if this ranking is a little biased, but we all gotta admit, this boss fight is really fun because of this roller coaster. The fight is so unique. It's such a huge change compared to all the other fights we've been facing, especially in Super Mario history. I mean, you have to aim these rockets at Mecha Bowser for massive damage. And what made it so better is that this game never implied Bowser's appearance until this very boss fight. It's a surprise that we should have expected, because from the very beginning of the game up until the moment you meet Mecha Bowser, Bowser's not even mentioned at any point. To top it off, once you beat Mecha Bowser, you get to experience the biggest plot twist of them all.
Mama Peach, I'm your mama?
7 to 8-year-old me had his entire mind blown when I first witnessed this cutscene. And to be honest, YouTube wasn't really a thing for me back when I was a kid. I wasn't fortunate enough to be like you young kids. I would boot up Super Mario Sunshine over and over just for that cutscene. Every friend that came over to my house, I would play this fight just to show them that cutscene, because no one believed me that was Mama Peach. Number 1 boss in Super Mario Galaxy. And if you haven't realized, it's the Bowser final fight. The final battle between Mario and Bowser is epic, despite it being simple. You have to move from planet to planet during each phase of the battle, which is awesome. It makes it feel like you two have mastered the galaxy and can move to each planet at will. Depending on the planet you guys are fighting in determines Bowser's moveset. The first planet he turns into a giant boulder, the second planet he shoots fireballs at you, and the third planet he does the moveset you already know from the first and second Bowser fights. This is so interesting because there are different ways to attack Bowser that you have to learn literally on the fly. The first planet, you already know what to do. We've been through the song and dance twice already. The third and final Bowser fight is pretty much the best Bowser fight in all of Super Mario Galaxy. Finally, the moment you've all been waiting for. We have Phantom Manta. It's crazy because, again, I hated this boss as a kid. And it's such an amazing fight. And as someone that's played Sunshine so many times, it was a blast to face off against. It can be done super quick if you know what to do, and there's a lot of ways to use FLUDD in this one. You know, you ordinarily shoot water, but knowing which way to shoot the water and which way could be the most optimal way to do it determines how fast you could beat this boss. The spin jump spray is honestly one of the best moves to use on this fight, because when there's a little Phantom Mantas going around, you can legit get them all 360 no scope. And also this little, the blast spray is really dope when the big one comes in and you just want to take care of it real quick and divide it up. This boss fight, it brings the inner speedrunner Mario out of me. And I mean, this fight uses the entire Serena Beach area, which is something that's never done in any of these previous boss fights. Yeah, Baby Piranha 2 used up some part of Bianco Hills, but not the entire freaking map. And granted, yeah, you know, Serena Beach isn't as big as Bianco Hills, but still. This boss fight is just amazing, man. Like, it's a genuine threat. What's amazing to me too, because the hotel owner's like, yo, I kind of need your help with this one. And mind you, the hotel owner's a dick, bro. First of all, fuck that guy in his hotel. And second of all, fuck these two people too, over here blaming my ass, over here trying to make me do work that I have nothing to be part of. And what I find cool is that for Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Japan even made a commercial about this fight and showing how it could be tedious. And honestly, it is very tedious if you don't know what's up, but if you do know what's up, it's really fun. Honestly, this boss fight is well worth the time spent, and it's so rewarding to beat that I personally really like to come back and play it. Phantom Manta takes the #1 spot in the Super Mario Sunshine portion of this list for its uniqueness and for being the most enjoyable Sunshine boss fight of them all. This one should have been obvious. The best boss battle in Super Mario 64, hands down goes down to King Bowser in the sky. It's the third and final Bowser battle, along with being the final boss of this game. And let me tell you, this fight is epic. From its music, arena, and ramped up difficulty, you'll have a good time fighting this Koopa King. Now this battle is a tad bit more difficult than the other Bowser ones, merely because you have to throw Bowser into the spike mines 3 times, as opposed to 1 like in the other 2 battles. Bowser will throw shockwaves with his stomps, and to be fair, it can get a little difficult dodging these shockwaves. And like in previous battles, he'll throw fire and try to tackle you. Plus, once Bowser is hit twice, he'll shake up the arena and it'll legit reform the arena into a shape of a star. And for this last attack, it'll be a tad bit harder to launch Bowser onto the mines, since you need more power and better timing to obviously get him to hit the mines. But all in all, once you defeat Bowser, he gives you the Jumbo Star, and Mario sends himself to see Princess Peach. Hey, thanks for watching this super long ranking video. If you made it to the end, which to be honest I doubt many of you even will, tell me which is your favorite Super Mario 3D All-Stars boss. You know, that way I know you watched the video up until the end. Because if no one comments their favorite 3D All-Stars boss, then I know you didn't make it to the end. So if you did, I know who you are. So thank you in advance. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Super Mario videos in the future. And as always, shout outs to my monthly Mr. members for putting that pizza on my pepperoni by supporting the channel. And those lovely people wearing the Mr. Awesome merch, you guys make the dream come true as a YouTuber, so thank you. Make sure to check out these videos on screen, and as always, stay golden.